What if the very things you were taught about love are the exact reasons you keep losing power? What if the moment you feel yourself reaching for her is the moment everything quietly slips out of your hands? Sit with that thought for a second, because this is where most men wake up too late. The moment you need her, you've already lost her. Read that again. Needing her is not love, it's leverage handed over without a fight. You don't gain power over a woman by chasing her, pleasing her, or constantly proving that you're worthy of her attention. You gain it the instant you realize you don't need her to complete you, define you, or validate your existence. Your value does not live in her texts, her approval, her affection, or her ability to choose you. Yet somewhere along the way, men were taught that love means service, sacrifice without limits, submission dressed up as devotion. What if everything you were told about how to get women was designed to make you weaker? What if society trained you to beg, to overgive, to over-explain, and then called it love? This isn't comfortable to hear, and it's not meant to be. This message isn't for the faint of heart. It's for the man who's tired of being invisible, tired of giving everything and receiving scraps, tired of performing, entertaining, and bending himself into shapes he doesn't recognize just to be chosen. This is the wake-up call. And before you go any further, ask yourself one honest question. Are you ready to stop being liked and start being respected? Because if you are, then type it in your mind right now, I choose power. She doesn't want the man who needs her to survive. She wants the man who could walk away and still stand tall. Not the one who texts her 12 times a day. Not the one who collapses when she says she's not feeling it anymore. She wants the man who could leave mid-sentence and never look back the moment respect disappears. That is power. You've been taught wrong. Society tells you to be nice, to be agreeable, to be endlessly soft. They sell you phrases like happy wife, happy life, and convince you that emotional exposure without boundaries is strength. They tell you to open up completely, cry freely, put her first at all costs. But ask yourself honestly, has that ever made her desire you more? Or did she pull away the moment you became too available, too accommodating, too emotionally dependent? Power is not loud, it's quiet. Respect isn't begged for, it's earned. And the love you're craving only shows up when you love yourself more than you could ever love her. This isn't about manipulation or control, it's about becoming grounded. It starts with one brutal truth. You must stop needing her. You lose her the moment she feels you need her more than she needs to respect you. That's not poetry, that's psychological law. The second your actions start orbiting her approval, you shrink in her eyes. She doesn't need to say it out loud. She feels it in your tone, in your posture, and how fast you reply, and how your entire day bends around her moods. In that moment, you hand her your power like it's disposable. And when a man does that, he stops being a force. He becomes an accessory, a comfort object, something she can pick up when she's bored and put down when something better appears. Not because she's cruel, but because that's what you trained her to do. A woman cannot love a man who isn't leading himself. If you follow her like a lost boy, hoping she'll confirm your worth, you will slowly destroy everything she once admired about you. What you call love, texting all day, waiting by the phone, asking her opinion on every move, is often just dependency wearing a romantic mask. And dependency is the death of desire. It tells her, I have no life without you. That doesn't excite her, it suffocates her. She didn't step into your world to carry you. She came because she saw fire in you, direction in you, a man with something bigger than her. And the moment you turned her into your mission, you lost yourself. You became emotionally homeless, trying to live inside her validation. That isn't love. That's slow self-destruction. If you want her to feel drawn to you like gravity, you must become untouchable in the right way. Not cold, not cruel, but unshakable. She must know that if she disappears tomorrow, your life doesn't collapse. It continues. Calm, focused, unbroken. That is where attraction is born. In certainty, in direction, in the quiet dominance of a man who chooses instead of chases. And to stop needing her, you have to rebuild your inner world from the ground up.
Withdraw your energy from her and reinvest it into yourself like your life depends on it, because it does. Stop checking if she viewed your story. Stop rereading messages for hidden meaning. Stop treating her silence like an emergency. Every second you spend analyzing her is a second stolen from your growth. Get obsessed, but not with her. Get obsessed with becoming so solid, so disciplined, so emotionally controlled that your presence alone changes a room. Wake up before the sun. Push your body until excuses die. Read books that sharpen your mind, Stoicism, psychology, strategy, until your thinking rewires itself. Cut distractions, cut weak habits, cut people who drain you. Build your vision like you're building an empire. Track your habits, suffer voluntarily. Discipline yourself so deeply that discomfort becomes familiar, even welcome. Because the man who can sit in pain without losing himself is the man no woman can break. That man doesn't flinch when she pulls away. He doesn't chase when she tests him. He doesn't fear losing her because he never lost himself. He becomes the standard, the frame, the calm presence she respects even when she resists it. She won't always admit it, but she's craving that man. And you become him by reclaiming every piece of yourself you handed over for approval. Your fake laughs, your unnecessary apologies, your endless explanations. Take it all back. Stop needing her. Start needing your own respect more than her affection. Because the moment you do that, everything shifts. Not because you forced it, but because power always speaks without words.
Now, understand this deeply. The woman only trusts the man who trusts himself. She only follows the man who can walk with direction even when everything around him feels uncertain. You don't gain her respect by trying to control her behavior. You gain it by mastering the chaos inside your own mind. The real battlefield was never between you and her. It has always been inside you, between impulse and discipline, between ego and restraint, between emotion and mission. If you fall apart every time she pulls away, if your mood collapses when she goes quiet, if your entire energy rises and falls based on whether she replies or smiles, then you've already surrendered your strongest weapon, your inner stability. And once that's gone, she feels it instantly. You must build a mind that is not for sale to validation, beauty, or attention, a mind that can't be shaken by rejection or inflated by praise. Most men don't lose because they lack value. They lose because they can't lead themselves. They panic when she creates distance. They overreact when she tests them. They crumble when their direction is questioned. And what they don't realize is that these moments are not accidents. She is watching, testing, not to hurt you, but to find out if the man in front of her is real or just a mask held together by fragile emotions. You don't win her by performing. You win her by stillness. You stop reacting. You stop explaining. You stop trying to manage how she feels. When she says something that pokes your ego, you pause, you breathe, and you respond like a man who doesn't need to prove anything. When she pulls back emotionally, you don't chase. You hold your ground and let her feel the gravity of your absence instead of the noise of your pursuit. That's what she's measuring. Not your compliments, not your promises. She's watching to see if your center moves when pressure is applied. And you can't fake that. You either built it or you didn't. To build it, you have to kill the boy inside you who reacts emotionally to everything. The one who wants immediate reassurance. The one who needs to be seen, heard, chosen right now. You stop sending the angry text. You stop triple texting. You stop defending your worth. You stay still, because stillness is power. Reaction is weakness pretending to be passion. The moment she knows she can pull your emotional strings, she knows she owns the dynamic. But when you remain unmoved, when you sit calmly in discomfort and let it pass, she leans in, because she's searching for something rare, a man who doesn't lose himself. This man is forged, not born. You build him in quiet discipline, in repetition, in suffering. You build him when you wake up early and train your body, even when motivation is gone. A strong body creates a disciplined mind.
You build him when you sit with your thoughts, journal them, observe them, and refuse to obey every emotion that passes through you. You build him when you read philosophy, truth, and psychology and apply it daily until your inner world becomes ordered. Mastering your mind means your emotions become signals, not commands. You feel them, but they don't control you. You experience desire, fear, and doubt without letting them steer your actions. A man who can sit calmly in a storm is the man who owns the room, not because he's arrogant, but because he's centered. And that centered presence makes her feel safe enough to soften. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen this core. Every time you avoid discomfort, you feed the weak part of you that wants to be rescued. Starve that part. Feed the warrior. You are not here to be emotionally available to chaos. You are here to lead, and leadership begins inside. Say less, move more. Make your mornings sacred. Train daily. Build non-negotiables and live by them. Refuse to argue. Refuse to over-explain. Refuse to react. You are not here to convince her. You are here to become a man who doesn't need convincing. When she sees that your calm doesn't break, even when attention fades, she won't pull away. She'll move closer. Because stillness like that changes everything. She doesn't want to mother you. She wants to mirror you. And the mirror reflects strength, clarity, and order. Build that quietly, daily, permanently. That's how you master your mind. And that's why she will never forget your presence.
Now, it comes down to frame. Because if you don't control the frame, you don't truly exist in her world. You're just orbiting it, adjusting yourself, reacting, hoping to stay relevant. A woman does not follow a man who bends his values to keep her. She does not trust a man who negotiates his integrity for approval. She wants to know if you stand on something solid or if your beliefs collapse the moment she applies pressure. Every time you compromise what matters to you just to avoid tension, a layer of respect disappears. She may not call it out, she may not even be conscious of it, but she feels it. Frame is not about domination, it's about direction. It's about being so grounded in who you are and where you're going that your presence doesn't waver when emotions rise. The man who holds frame doesn't need to raise his voice, his actions speak. His silence carries weight. She notices when you tolerate disrespect you once wouldn't. She notices when you stop enforcing boundaries. She notices when you justify behavior that contradicts your values. Not because she's malicious, but because safety for her is built on certainty. And certainty comes from a man who is willing to walk alone if his path demands it. When she tests you with distance, attitude, or provocation, she's asking a silent question. Are you still the man you claimed to be? The moment you shift your energy to keep the peace, the moment you over-explain, rationalize, or apologize for standing your ground, you lose the frame. You cannot inspire respect from a position of unnecessary apology. If you didn't violate your principles, you owe no explanation. Holding frame means your values are not for sale, not for attention, not for comfort, not even for the woman you love. You don't debate boundaries, you live them. You don't beg for understanding, you act with such consistency that your standards become undeniable. She doesn't fall in love with flexibility, she falls for grounded certainty. Frame is knowing you are the chooser, not the applicant. She is entering your reality, not the other way around. Your life is the center of gravity, and the moment you dilute it by over-accommodating, you become forgettable. If you say lateness is unacceptable, you don't tolerate it. If loyalty is non-negotiable, you don't negotiate. If your mission comes first, you don't trade it for momentary comfort. She will test the frame, not because she wants to leave, but because she wants to believe in it. Every time you hold it, her respect deepens. Every time you fold, something dies quietly in her attraction. Frame isn't built through aggression, it's built through unwavering direction. You must be so clear about where you're going that she either aligns or watches you walk away without hesitation.
This is where leadership replaces chasing. The man who leads doesn't pursue, he builds. He creates a world with motion, order, and purpose, and invites her into it. Chasing hands her control. Leadership takes responsibility. When you chase, you communicate lack. When you lead, you communicate abundance. Stop trying to convince. Stop flooding her with effort to keep her. Start running toward your highest standard. Build your body until it reflects discipline. Sharpen your skill until your thinking is valuable. Build a life so structured and meaningful that your time becomes sacred, your silence becomes intriguing, your presence becomes grounding. Lead without chasing by removing every behavior that says, "Please choose me," and replacing it with a life so full that even if she left, nothing would collapse. You don't need to entertain, you evolve. You don't seek validation, you add value. You don't beg to be understood, you move forward regardless. And if she's the right woman, she'll feel safe in that leadership, because it doesn't demand, it invites. It doesn't chase, it attracts. She knows she can't manipulate it. She knows she has to rise to it, and that realization changes her behavior more than any words ever could. You were never born to chase approval. You were never meant to beg for love or permission. You're here to shape your world through discipline, clarity, and presence. The moment you stop trying to be liked and start becoming a man who is respected in silence, everything changes. Women feel it. Opportunities respond to it. Life bends toward it. You don't need perfection, you need progress. You need to stop waiting for recognition and start becoming undeniable. Your power begins the moment you decide never to betray your values again. You are not broken, you are buried beneath comfort, distraction, and fear. Burn it away. Rise disciplined, rise grounded, rise unrecognizable. Not for her, not for applause, but for the man you see when no one is watching. That is frame. That is leadership. That is real power.